I made a video months ago talking about how I believed that there was irregularities in the 2024 election, so much so that it has led me to believe that there was some type of cheating in the election.
We got to get the congressmen elected and we got to get the senators elected, because we can take the Senate pretty easily. And I think with our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over.
Not to mention, I also in that video showed that Donald Trump continuously admits that he had some type of edge or advantage during this election.
We had our top people, Wasserman. They all came in on the Olympics, and then I saw Johnny. And we got the World Cup, too. And, you know, it's only because they rigged the election that I'll be your president representing you there. You know, I got both of them. I got the Olympics, and I got the World Cup. And I said, you know, it's too bad. One was in 2026 and the other was in 2028. And I said, I won't be there. I won't be your president. But then they rigged the election and now we won. So I'm going to be your president for the Olympics.
Today, we're going to talk about a lawsuit that may expose more irregularities in the 2024 election.
Huge news coming out of Rockland County in New York. SMART, not ETA, but SMART, another private independent organization that looks at results from November 5th. Follow me? They filed a lawsuit based on results from 4 districts in Rockland County.
Have you guys seen this yet? Go to smartelections.us. They're the ones that pushed and were able to get this started. I hope this is the catalyst that pushes them to start looking into the work that the Election Truth Alliance has been doing, because once that ball starts rolling, maybe I should say, the pins will all fall.
What up, my beautiful black people? Welcome to Black People Politics Network. I'm Mr. Red. Today we're delving into a developing story that could have profound implications for our democracy. In Rockland County, New York, an independent watchdog group, Smart Legislation, has filed a lawsuit citing significant voting irregularities in the 2024 presidential and U.S. Senate elections. Voters have come forward swearing they cast ballots for independent Senate candidate Diane Sayre, yet their official count doesn't reflect their votes. Moreover, statistical anomalies suggest discrepancies in the presidential vote count as well.
Their findings into an actual lawsuit that's going to be looked into, presented in front of a judge, very, very significant. If you have not looked this man up already, I encourage everyone to research Dr. Walter Mebane. Conversation around this man and his findings are going to get louder. The conversation about this beauty pageant back in November and all of the data that shows something was not right is going to get louder.
There is clear evidence that the Senate test results are incorrect, and there are statistical indications that the presidential test results are highly unlikely, stated Lulu Friesdadt, founder and executive director of Smart Legislation. If the results are incorrect, it is a violation of the constitutional rights of each person who tested in the 2024 Rockland County general test. The best way to determine if the results are correct is to examine the paper tests in a full public transparent hand recount of all presidential and Senate tests in Rockland County. We believe it is vitally important, especially in the current environment, to be absolutely confident about the results of the test.
Now, in my previous video, I talked about a number of instances and places that experience irregular vote tallies or irregular vote patterns. One of those places, North Carolina, the Justice Department sued the state's election board for failing to collect mandatory voter identification numbers during registration, potentially affecting hundreds of thousands of voters.
Can somebody explain this to me? The Democratic governor gets 3 million votes. The Republican governor gets 22,200,000. Yet Trump gets 2,877,000 and Kamala gets 2,687,000. Where's the 400,000 votes? Because most people who vote Democrat voted blue down the ticket.
We see in North Carolina practically every statewide Democrat wins. We see Josh Stein for governor wins by 800,000 votes Democrat. We see that Rachel Hunt Democrat for lieutenant governor wins by 150,000 votes. We see that Jeff Jackson for attorney general wins by 125,000 votes. But when we look at presidential race, we see that Donald Trump wins by 189,406 votes, when every other major statewide Democrat won by 120 to 800,000 votes, with the exception of Allison Riggs.
Just about everybody that I've heard has voted blue down the ticket. It doesn't matter if they like them or not. Blue down the ticket. So where's all these votes?
That at first they tried to tell us that we didn't show up. They were like, the reason it didn't happen is because we just didn't show up. And then the numbers kept going. And then they stopped saying that we didn't show up, because that's not really what it was. So what was it? When you look at the numbers, the sell that they are trying to give us is that we betrayed our team.
In Florida, ballot errors were reported, including the omission of Kamala Harris from certain absentee ballots. These instances raise serious concerns about the integrity of our electoral process. You can see across the country, when it's time to vote, how Republicans go to great lengths to kick people off ballots, because they know that they cannot win an election if we all vote. Adding to the concern, we've heard Donald Trump multiple times talk about how people won't have to vote again, how this may be the last election.
We got to get the congressmen elected, and we got to get the senators elected, because we can take the Senate pretty easily. And I think with our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over.
Everything that he's done so far since he's taken the presidency has shown that he intends to stay in power. Everything shows that there is a plan in place to keep Donald Trump installed, so that the elites can use him, so that the Republican Party can fall in line, so that the Republicans and the GOP never lose power again. I need to stress to you, Donald Trump cheating is a crime against this country, against you, against me.
Trump said, Elon's good with computers. He fixed the vote and now we won. So I would humbly say that more districts, more counties need to recall their votes. They need to check their votes, just like they did in 2020. More Democrats need to request that the counties check their votes. I don't see what the problem is.
Yes, and while y'all in that discovery phase, pull every single rally or pull those shits and pull every single one where he has said the election was rigged or he would not be your president. His words, not mine, but they can sure come in handy for your fucking court case here in Rockland.
And there are a lot of complicit people who is allowing him to do this. There are some people who know there's something wrong, but they are scared to speak up. We need to speak up. We need to be the ones doing the right things. The convergence of these events suggests a pattern that cannot be ignored. It's imperative that we as informed citizens scrutinize these developments and demand transparency and accountability. Stay vigilant, stay informed, stay revolutionary. Do me a favor, if you enjoyed today's video, like this video, consider subscribing to the channel, and consider donating to our Cash App, as we have been demonetized for merely speaking the truth. Thank you to everyone who's already donated to our Cash App. We thank you. Also, watch this video right here. It is going to show another topic that demands our attention. You won't regret it.